Okay, so welcome everyone to our webinar today on student life at IT Sligo. My name is Jason Quinn and I am the president of IT Sligo Students Union. I'm joined today by our panelists who are students of the Institute at the moment. And we're going to go through a wee bit about what student life is at IT Sligo. I suppose the biggest thing about joining IT Sligo is the community that we create here. The smallness of the college actually really impacts students and having that sense of community with each other. Everyone kind of knows who people are, and I suppose for everyone that joins IT Sligo, you will actually notice the benefits of having that close-knit community that we have in IT Sligo. So without further ado, I will introduce our panelists. So I will first go to Emer Caulfield.
Hi, so I'm Emer. I am currently a third year student and I'm studying applied sport with business in the IT.
Thank you very much, Emer. I will stick with the ladies and I'll go with Alana next.
Hi guys, I'm Alana. I'm from Donegal and I'm year 3 pharmaceutical science.
It's great to have another Donegal person on with me. We're taking over this place. And last but not least, I'll go to Sean Carabine.
Hi guys, I'm Sean. I'm from Inniscrone, County Sligo, and I'm in 4th year studying mechanical engineering.
Brilliant, thanks very much. So guys, I suppose we'll get straight into the conversation here today. Really what we want to do is try and let our prospective students know what life is like in IT Sligo. And I suppose we've been here now for a couple of years, for me a lot longer than you guys, but we'll just kind of try and get an insight into what it's like to be an IT Sligo student. So first of all, I'll start off with your guys' transition from second level to going into third level. So I suppose, Alana, I might start off with yourself. So maybe you might give us what you kind of think on how you transitioned from second level into third level.
Yeah, so second level and third level for me was a little bit rough, I have to say. I had quite a rough leaving there due to different issues happening. But once I got there, I remember mum drove me up on the very first day because I was like, no way am I staying in Sligo the first night. So I was like, no, not happening. So went up, there was the big meeting, all the first years in the Upney the first morning. I was like, right, okay. And next thing I started recognizing people, and I knew my cousin was also starting. I was like, right, once I find her, I'll be grand. But once you get into it, you meet your classmates that first day. Everybody is so friendly. The lecturers are so friendly. All the people you see on open day wearing the blue t-shirt, like, ask me if you have any questions. Everybody's so nice. And once you get into it, you're grand. And then the biggest thing for me was just getting to know people. Once you get to know people, you get your kind of friend group together. It was just smooth sailing after the first week.
Yeah, that's it. That induction days really, those a couple of days of induction are really good because it gives you an opportunity to be able to actually get to know people around you, get to know people who are in your course and that sort of thing. Emer, I might move on to yourself next. How did you find the transition from second level into third level?
Well, mine was a bit long-winded. I didn't know what I wanted to do after leaving cert, so I actually ended up taking a year out and I did PLC. So I did it in sports science, and after that I still didn't really know what I wanted to do. So I actually came about finding Sligo, I think it was through the available places. I'd heard so much about it, but I'd never considered it, and it's only up the road for me, like. So yeah, I accepted it on the Friday and then I started on the Monday. So it was very, very last minute like that. My mom had to drop me up in the first morning as well. I went up with no accommodation, nothing, like it was really last minute. So, but it was so easy. Like after that, I flew through it. Like I can't believe how I was stressed about it, but it was not a bother.
Yeah, that's it too. And I suppose, did you do your PLC in Sligo or did you do that elsewhere?
No, I actually did it here in my hometown, Castlebar, and then I was just still all over the place. So Sligo, just having only been up the road, like in case I was a bit wary about moving away from home, but like it's still so close. So I love that as well about it.
Yeah, that's it too. So it's kind of that great benefit of being away, but you're still close enough to home in case you need to be home. And Sean, what about yourself then, coming from, you are a Sligo man from Inniscrone. So I suppose, how did you find that transition then from second level to third level?
More than Emer there, I had a funny transition as well. I was originally meant to go to NUIG in Galway, and things anyways didn't work out. And I was at a crossroads. I hadn't really backed up my CAO, etc. And I was thinking of repeating the Leaving Cert, taking a year out as well, and no more missed induction days, whatever. Got a chance then to go to the IT, and I took it. But I suppose it was a smooth enough transition for me in terms of that I knew so many people because I'm from Sligo, so it was handy that way. But yeah, it was an intense couple of days at the start, but it was grand once you got going on it. Like that, I think it was accepted on a Tuesday. I had to go down on a Wednesday. That was really it straight away.
Yeah, that's it. Once you kind of dip your toe in and you kind of get into it a wee bit, you notice more and more things that are going on around you. I suppose it's kind of, you can kind of understand though how some first years would find it kind of, prospective first years, so people going into first year will find it kind of nerve-wracking, kind of going into like a scene like that where they've, as Alana, you said there, you go into that hall in the first morning and there's close to 1,000 other people or 700 or 800 other people, and the first morning that you go into the Knocknaray Hall, and it's kind of daunting. But then the more you get involved in it, and the more that you kind of take it on, it's actually turns out to be like really okay, I suppose, and easy to get on with. Sean, you mentioned, Emer, you mentioned there about accommodation in Sligo and not having anything sorted, I suppose, when you came up. How did you find like getting accommodation in Sligo? Was it easy for you, or was it difficult, or how did you find it?
No, getting the accommodation was so easy. Like, I went up thinking that I'm going to have to commute for my first year and I'm not going to make any friends or anything like that. So when my mom dropped me off, I had her go around to like all the different student accommodation, being like, please let my daughter stay. And the first place she went, they were just not a bother. Yeah, we've loads of places. Like, you hear of other places, and you know, if you want to go in September, you'd want to start booking at the start of summer, that kind of way, where like it can be really last, you know, there's always kind of places, anywhere, any of the accommodations in Sligo, they'll always have a space. So that was brilliant for me. It took so much stress off my shoulders. Like,
yeah, that's it. It is so accessible. Like, there's on a good year, I suppose, in Sligo here, we wouldn't sell out on accommodation. Our job in Student Union would be to kind of facilitate those providers about able to have a website or an area for them to advertise to students. So if any prospective students are watching this and they feel like they want to find out more about accommodation, then get in contact with us in the Student Union and we'll be able to help you. Alana, how did you find the accommodation situation in Sligo? Was it kind of, for you, did you find that they were all kind of spread apart, or that they were nicely close knit together?
No, so the majority of student villages are like on the road right behind the college. They're like 10 minutes you're in the college and 10 minutes you're into town. It's great. Yeah. And like, if you're saying, like, I'm in Yates Village, but most, like, one of my friends in the Grove, 5 minutes, I'm over at hers. And it's just so easy to get between each one. And if you want to pop back, if you have a half an hour break between lectures, pop back for lunch. You don't have to like eat in the college the whole time. You just pop back. If you forget something, even like, here's May Steins, you forget your lab coat, you can't get into the lab, but run up the hill, grab your lab coat, you're back down in 20 minutes.
Yeah, that's it. You're literally only a stone throw away from all the providers. Sean, what about you? How was your experiences with accommodation in Sligo?
Yes, like that as well. Been late going to college. I had no accommodation sorted as well. I suppose I had the luxury as well that I could go up and down if I wanted, but we rang anyways, not too panicked, and of course plenty of accommodation was there. We actually, I think my mother got in touch with the Student Union as well. We rang them first, and they put us on to a couple of places and looking at whatever. But yeah, honestly, I think it was sorted within a half an hour.
Yeah, that's it.
It was fine.
It is so handy to get accommodation down here. It's not different to the likes of Galway or Dublin, where you have to be on the ball and you have to be getting your accommodation almost the year before you go in to college. But I suppose for us, like, we have so many different providers here. There's so many different student villages. There's also private rented accommodation then if you wanted to go that route. But all our providers at IT Sligo are actually within a 5 minutes or 10-minute walking distance. The furthest away is probably Ardnuna, and that's probably still only a 10-minute walk. Like, so you can roll out of bed 5 minutes to 9 and still be in your first lecture for 9 o'clock on time. So that's a big benefit. I suppose then, like, obviously the standard of the accommodation here in Sligo is pretty good. You've some that will be at the top level in terms of our new Ben Bulbin apartments, on the more kind of expensive side of things. But then you have the more kind of affordable accommodations in the likes of Gateway Apartments in Yates Village, Clarion, The Grove. How did you find the actual? I might go back to you again, Sean. How did you find the actual, like, the costing of the accommodation? You were saying you were close to going to NUI Galway, so there'd be a bit of a difference there in terms of the costing of accommodation in Sligo and Galway.
Yeah, definitely, that's for sure. I remember people were getting on. There was a lot of panic stations in Galway anyways, trying to get accommodation, but some of the prices, I know I have friends in Dublin as well in college, and the price they're paying is just ridiculous. Like, and that's even just to share a bedroom. Like, some accommodation in Sligo, you get a double bed with an ensuite for half the price of people are paying for a shared bedroom. Like, so that's the great advantage, to be honest. And as you said, the quality though is very good. Whether it be an apartment or a big house. And the handy thing was, the girl said there, it's so close to college as well. I don't think anything is you don't really have to use your car to or a bike or anything. Everything is just so handy.
Everything's so handy, is right. I suppose, Emer, I might go to you on this one. You talked about there the kind of advantages of you're from you being from Castlebar. You still have a bit of distance to travel at the weekend. How did you find the traveling? So did you get a bus, or how did you actually travel to college?
So when I first started in first year, there's about 2 different bus companies from around the Westport Castlebar area. They're still going, so like that, go down the Sunday, and then Thursday, Friday, you have your choice. If you're off Fridays, you can go home Thursday evening. But even regardless of that, like, there's been a few times where midweek, I might have to go home for appointments or things like that. If my parents are around, it's only like a 40-minute hour at the most kind of drive up. They can come and get me fairly handy. And if not, then there's just the ordinary bus. Like, it's 2 buses, but it's still so I have every option of trying to get home, like, in fairness.
Yeah, that's it. And there's a bus company from Castlebar. I think they go from the car park in the college, don't they, on a Friday morning? There's a couple
there's 2 or 3 of them, so it depends on, like, so I'm getting the Westport one, there's another one there for Ballina, like, so we all see each other, even though we're going to the same county, but there's different buses heading off. So we all leave around, I think it's kind of around Friday afternoon, or else it's a Thursday evening one, but mostly Friday afternoon, not a bother. You head off home in no time.
Yeah, that's great. I suppose it is so handy as well. All you have to do is nip down to the car park in the college, and you're on your bus on the way home. So it's great. Alana, for yourself, whenever you were going to Donegal, South Donegal, is it you said you were from?
Yeah, Donegal town area. So, but you good old Fida goes the whole way from Galway to Inishowen. So even if you're in the back of the beyond to Donegal, the Fida, I'll get you there.
Yeah.
No, they're great. Up and down twice a day. Perfect.
Yeah, I know. The only thing is about Fida, it stops in every small town along the way. And if you're like me from Letterkenny, you'd be sick of stopping in every town on the way.
I suppose
that's the joy.
It's like the 3rd stop, and then they start stopping everywhere in Donegal.
Yeah, that's it. That's kind of the nightmare of Donegal. There's no trains. Everyone down south of the country is actually delighted they can just hop on a train and go anywhere. A train's like a day out for us in Donegal. Yeah. but that's good. So you've also got, I suppose, Bus Éireann as well. Serve everyone there is, even for people who might be going the opposite way in terms of Cavan, Monaghan, those areas. There's private buses that go from literally a stone throw away from the college to all those areas, to serve all those areas as well. So it is great for that. And I mentioned there a minute ago about how cheap the accommodation actually is in Sligo, but I want to kind of get into a conversation now about how cheap it actually is to live in Sligo. So the cost of living, give us a wee kind of indication of what kind of money would you be talking for to get yourself a dinner in the college. I haven't been on the college in a long time, but if you were, what would you be talking?
Like a full dinner, and that's like a bit of meat, load of veg, and then half and half spuds and chips is a fiver, and your plate will be full. Yeah. Like they don't like just a handful, that's a handful. It will be loaded, a fiver, and you're like that. I would eat that, and I wouldn't eat anything else for the rest of the day.
Yeah,
It's
that's it.
just that load
And
of guys.
I suppose to kind of mention then as well, you've got the Student Union shop, what also has like, I don't know how much is down there, but we actually have the cheapest Starbucks in Europe. So there's one for you now. Emer, how do you find it, being on campus or even like shopping off campus or anything like that? Like, how would you find it managing your money in Sligo?
Pretty easy, and I'm like chronic with money in fairness. But I think you just like that when you go into the canteen, you learn about like, geez, I should start coming here more often instead of getting the constant takeaways the whole time. You learn your way about quick enough to see what's cheap, what's not, like in that sense. But I think price of living is fairly low, like that. You're not spending money on taxis in and out. You learn you can just walk, things like that. There's like so many student offers on the whole time. If it's not in the pubs, the off license, even going to the cinema, things like that. You learn, you become a bit savvy with money.
Yeah, that's it. And you also have all the places in town. If you're going shopping, most of them have kind of student discounts or do have student deals on, as you say. The likes of the cinema there, different places would have student discount or student deals on. You mentioned there, Emer, just on the likes of the cinema and stuff there. What other things would you see yourself getting up to in Sligo in your spare time? How would you spend your spare time? What is there to do in Sligo?
Most of the time, trips to cinema like that. If it's really good weather, just a day out, an evening on the beach or anything like that. Hop on the bus, couple of euro, if even, you're out there in no time. There's so many places to go. Like I'm into like sitting having coffee, things like that. There's just so much to do around the town. There's a bit of a buzz about the town, like in fairness.
Yeah, it is. That's so like student focused as well in Sligo. You mentioned the beach and stuff there, Emer. Sean, you're a sports scholarship recipient. So how would you find, would you spend your time kind of out on the beach if you were relaxing, or what would you do, Sean, to kind of keep yourself active in the evening time when you're not training? Or
unfortunately, you don't get too much of a break to go around, but you've the likes of Strand Hill, Ross Point down there as well. An underrated one is Bertie's Pitch and Putt, actually, out the Bundoran Road. To be honest, there's plenty to do around. You have the cinema as well. In fairness, town offers a nice bit as well. There's nice restaurants as well to go to in the evenings. Things like that. It's quite broad as well. Your options for food as well, so which is good.
And if you were Sean, if you were wining and dining the lucky lady now, where would be your place to go? Let it set the scene for us here now.
Where would it be? I like that Mexican place actually in Sligo. I forgot what the name is called though. Tuco's, yeah. I like that spot. That's pretty good.
Come on, if you're going for a candle,
unfortunately, there wouldn't be much dating there. Jesus.
If it was
that one, I'm not too sure.
Right, well, we'll send that out to the girls. Alana, where would you go if you were going out for a nice evening? There we go.
I love Jalan.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. So
everything, everything Jalan is like. Wow.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. All right, Emer, what about yourself? Where's your top eatery in Sligo?
Oh, I think if I was pulling out all the stops, it would probably be Bistro. I'd probably go to the Bistro.
Yes, Bistro.
That's now for top romantic, but other than that, chippers galore.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the chippers too are great because they're so handy. Like they're all on Just Eat as well, so you can literally have them at your door in 20 minutes, which is great. Another fantastic spot as well is Flipside. If you're into a burger, maybe their wings there as well are quality. But then just going off from that then too, if you actually want to get out to, as Sean said, they're out to Strand Hill, you've got the likes of Mama Johnson's out there, ice cream parlour, which makes their own ice cream. So on a good day, you're out there, the sun splitting the rocks out there, having yourself a wee ice cream along the beach. Unreal, it's just class. But I suppose then, as well as that too, Sligo is blessed because it's so scenic. It's literally one of the most beautiful counties in Ireland. In terms of stuff to be doing. Alana, what would be your kind of ideas on the landscape that's around? Like, so obviously you've got Ben Bulbin there is gorgeous to look at. Or what would you kind of find? How would you find the countryside in Sligo?
You see, I'm just a lover for the beach. So you have Strandhill, you've Ross's Point, and then you have Ben Bulbin on the north side and Knocknarea out towards Strandhill, and it's just amazing looking out, especially where I used to live in Yates before bloody little pandemic arrived. I got upstairs room and just you looked out over the Sligo Harbour and it's amazing.
Yeah,
and then
yeah, it's absolutely
the forest behind you.
Yeah, it's absolutely beautiful. You have Hazelwood and stuff there as well. Emer, how would you find the whole countryside of being from the big city of Castlebar? How would you find coming out to the country in Sligo?
No, I actually, in fairness, loved it. It was much the same like that. There's so many things to do. So I loved, like climbing Knocknarea, things like that. Going to the beach as well. But yeah, no, definitely next on my list now would be Ben Bulbin out that side. Kind of Glencar, the waterfalls out there and everything. So
yeah, it's gorgeous out that part of the county as well. And Sean, what about yourself from down near Enniscrone? Talk to us about what's going on out there. If people are lucky enough to be able to get into a car and travel around Sligo, what is there to be seen down that part of the county?
It's very similar. Beach. That's the main attraction, I suppose. Pier. It's coming at this time of year now. A lot of people will go for dips in the sea and stuff. Any golf lovers as well. Great golf down there, stuff like that. Yeah. Even just the drive out west, it's pretty nice. It's very scenic the whole way down. So it's a nice way to pass the evening. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely it is. Absolutely it is. And it is, there is so much to do like elsewhere from that. So you've got the Hazelwood Forest, there's a beautiful walk out there. You have Loch Gill, you can go stand up paddling. Sligo is actually going to be, they're building this, am I right in saying they're building a centre of excellence for surfing in Sligo, in Strandhill now as well. So anyone who's keen on surfing, you've got Bundoran just up the road, and you've got loads of beaches in Sligo for surfing too. So there is loads to be doing. Okay, so I'm going to move on to a really interesting topic now, a topic that every student wants to know about, and that is the nightlife. So I don't know who's going to be the first up to answer a few questions on this, but I know certainly it was a big attraction for me whenever I was choosing to go where to go in college. But okay, I'll start off with Emer. Emer, tell us about the nightlife in Sligo. How good is it?
It's something else, in fairness. To sum it up really quick. I know there's literally something. That's the one thing, like there's something for everyone. I mean, if you just want a quiet game of pool, head down to the pub. You're in the brewery, like no problem. A few places in town. If you're wanting like a mad night out, you've the nightclubs, everything. Yeah, between the Leitrim and Kilgallen's, like they're two different types of music as well. It literally catered for everyone, like in fairness.
Yeah, absolutely. There is literally something for everyone. In terms of then, if you're, I suppose, we've got, I don't have to say this, but we've got the best rag week in Ireland. I've been to them all. I've seen them all. Definitely number one. But I suppose for going to, as you say there, you start off, you're in your student accommodation. We're not going to be promoting drinking or anything like that, but you start off in your student accommodation. Where's the next step after that then, Alana?
Probably the brewery before you hit the Blind Tiger, something like that anyway. Yeah. And then into the Garvogue after that until 2 so in the morning.
Give us a wee idea on what the Garvogue actually is.
Okay, so the Garvogue is like a good dancing place, I think. I would never get off the dance floor going out in the night out. Like dance society, like if we're out dance society, it's the Garvogue, and we'd probably just take up the place for
that. Yeah, that's it. So it's like a gorgeous lake bar as well. Like so, if it's busy, then upstairs and all are open, and it's just class. Like it's brilliant.
It's good.
Sean, give us an idea there. Paint the picture for us. Yourself and the lads from the GA team, just after getting, just after being put out of some big cup game, and you're looking to let off some steam now. It's been a tough season for you. What's the plan?
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not the best man to ask for advice for this now. My nights have been limited. Probably, we'd regroup somewhere. Obviously, go to the brewery there or somewhere like that. And like I said, then it's an open road. Then we'd probably hit for the Leitrim then, and then get into whatever one of the girls said there, the Garvogue, or else into Scintillate, whatever's open, whatever will have us. And then there's plenty of options.
Whichever one will let you in, maybe.
Yeah, whichever one will do, whichever one is closer. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and then absolutely.
Yeah, that'd be it, and you'd pay for it then the next day, I suppose.
Yeah, that's the problem.
It's a good complaint, though.
Yeah, exactly. I suppose as well, then, like, you've got, as you guys are saying, there is something there for everyone. I know myself, you probably would have seen me doing a bit of DJing and stuff in the brewery, where it would be 1 minute you're sitting there playing cheesy ABBA, and then the next minute you're whacking out something heavier for the other boys that are down the back of the room. But yeah, there is so much to do in terms of nightlife and that sort of thing. But I suppose away from that, then you've also got, you've got great collectives, great music collectives for those people that are actually into, going to see whether it's live DJs with the guys in Faint. The guys in Faint always put on a wicked show. They do outdoor events. They do, everything. And then you've got the likes of Fiddlers there would always have a live band on a Thursday night, which is a serious laugh. And you head into for a couple of cocktails afterwards into Retro Lane and see where that would take you from there then. But as I said, there is loads to do elsewhere. If you're not into that sort of scene, there's loads to do, from the cinema to the Hawkswell Theatre, has shows and stuff on there as well. So there is something there for everyone. There's loads to do. There's also the Belfry have American pool and snooker as well. So there's something there to do all the time. I suppose we went through all the exciting stuff for people to spend their money on. But I'm not sure if any of you have worked in Sligo or had a part-time job in Sligo town whenever you were down here. But have any of you actually had a part-time job down here first before I ask this question? No.
No,
I haven't either. Some of my friends have though, yeah.
Yeah. So there is loads of opportunities for people to be able to get jobs. You've got the careers office in the college are really good in terms of setting people up for jobs. So you've got like the hotels, the nightclubs are always looking for people, and different sort of shops and stuff around Sligo as well. You will get something. The brewery bar there, you might sometimes you don't want to be in a place where you're working and make a fool of yourself on a Tuesday night, shifting someone up the back of the bar and then having to go into work on the Wednesday. But yeah, there is something there for everyone, and there's definitely plenty of part-time jobs there. I suppose kind of on a more serious note now, away from this, I wanted to kind of talk a bit about the supports available to students. Whilst everything is a bit of crack, there's also a more serious side of things. So have you guys ever used any of the academic supports? So Emer, what would you know about kind of the academic supports that are in the college there? You've obviously you're an applied sport with business student. Would you have used the academic writing centre or the math support or anything like that?
So I've kind of looked at the academic writing support because just little things like, when you move into college, it's a different kind of way of writing, like you would an essay and you're leaving cert, like. Yeah. So I definitely needed that help, and then friends of mine have used the math support as well, and they've like come on shrums from it, like they've praised it so much. So it really helps, just especially in the transition in more than anything, like.
Yeah. So that kind of period whenever you're just away from second level school and you're kind of getting out of the idea of writing about poets and stuff, and you're actually having to write now more kind of focused material on what you have to do. Alana, what about yourself? Have you went through any of the academic supports or any supports in the college itself?
Yeah, so I would been mainly the maths, not really the academic writing bit as of yet. Yeah. See next year what the thesis goes. But definitely the maths, like in secondary school, you're just like, oh, calculate this, calculate that. Once you have to think about when you start with chemical reactants and you have to see how much I'm actually going to make. Well, they don't teach you that in secondary school. You actually have to like think about things. So
yeah. So that support was there. Yeah, big help is right. And Sean, yourself as a mechanical engineering student, I'm sure maths was always kind of a difficult one for me anyway. And I can't even imagine what the maths is like in mechanical engineering.
Yeah, definitely avail of them sports. They were definitely done a few times throughout. I will
Yeah.
say about that academic writing centre, I'm just coming to the end of my thesis here now, and that, to be honest, that has brought me on an awful lot and helped me out an awful lot and clarified a lot of things for me, which is, in fairness, I know people might just ignore and think it's there, but it is really helpful, especially for the likes of us this year with just been
with
isolated,
everything that's
studying
going
and
on.
working like that. The support now like that came in very handy and just reduced a lot of stress.
Yeah, and how did you, just to kind of give people a wee bit of context, Sean, how did you get in contact with the Academic Writing Centre? Did you know, how do you actually go about getting an appointment there?
It was actually introduced to me through, I actually didn't directly contact them. It was introduced through a module we were doing with a lecturer who said to avail of it, which came in handy and gave us a tutorial, a different maybe 7-stage tutorial, basically from the basics all the way from your nouns, your verbs, whatever, to the whole way to how to reference correctly and stuff. And I was just following things through that, which was very good. But yeah, appointments can be booked. I think once you're logged in, it comes under a thing on your Moodle page.
Yeah, that's right. That's true. People can get it through their Moodle page, but also hopefully now, fingers crossed, by the time we get back in September, that we're going to be back on campus again. And there's actually a drop-in centre there that you can just pop in. It's a little room up the top floor in the library, and you can just pop in there if you're struggling with something or you want any questions answered about how to actually, I suppose, structure an essay or structure a question that you have to do. They'll be able to help you out there. And the maths support is fantastic as well. I would have availed of that whenever I was going through my course in terms of kind of business maths and stuff like that. So it was brilliant, and it is really, really helpful too. And the people, like, I don't know about you guys, but how would you find, I find that everyone in the college is so helpful. If you're honest to them and you go to them and say, I'm actually struggling with this, can you help me or point me in the right direction? Like if you're going to ask a lecturer or anything, say, can you help me, point me in the right direction of what I need to do? And they're really, really helpful, but it's kind of that, taking that stigma away of just going and asking for it, and asking for the help is really, really important. I'm going to finish up now in a couple of minutes, but I just want to finish off with one final thing. Sean, I'll go to you first. If you were to give a first year coming into college this year any advice, what would it be?
I suppose hopefully the person gets on campus first of all. When just don't be afraid to stay within yourself. Don't be afraid to talk to people. I know I was thrown straight into the deep end, and I literally had to people in my class. I had a lot of catching up to do, and to be honest, I nearly preferred that in a way, hindsight looking back, because it was. It made me get out of my comfort zone a bit. Approach lecturers, because majority classes, lecturers know you on first name basis. They're helpful. They're not there to see you do bad or anything like that. Try new things. Avail of the facilities around. In my case, avail of the sports facilities. They've been brilliant. And just that's really it. Just don't come out of your shell a bit if you can. Yeah, exactly.
Emer, I'll go to you next. If you could give students one piece of advice, what would it be?
I think much the same as Sean. Definitely don't be nervous. Avail of everything. Try all the different clubs until you find, the right one for you. Just do it like that. Do everything. Don't let it pass you by. Take full advantage of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Very good advice. Alana, what about yourself? Any advice for prospective first years?
No, same again. Just get stuck in. If you feel like you're the shy one in second, just go join at least. There's a club and society for everybody. I say just join at least one, make friends, and then you'll be flying.
Yeah. Very, very, very good advice there. I suppose if I was to give my 2 cents into the equation, I'd be along the same lines as well. Don't be scared to speak up, speak your mind. It's all about raising opinions at the end of the day. So if you have an opinion on something, let it go. Everyone will have their own opinion. But it doesn't matter what your opinions are as long as you throw them out there. And as the guys said, clubs, societies are a massive part. So get involved in all of that. There's literally a club or society there for everyone. There's over 70 of them every year. So get involved in everything that you can, and you'll not find your years going. Because once you get, I don't know, for you guys, my 4 years flew by. It's gone in the blink of an eye. So enjoy it as well to the best that you can. Guys, I just want to say thank you very much for joining us today for this panel talk. And I'm sure this is going to be really helpful to those prospective students coming into college next year, and people, hopefully, that we're going to actually see them in September on campus. So again, guys, thanks very much for joining us. And I hope someone got something out of this, and there will be an opportunity as well to ask questions on this session. So if you want to, if any prospective students are listening or watching this, don't be scared to reach out to the Student Union to answer any questions. We're really approachable. We love having contacts with everyone. So again, just reach out and we'll be able to answer. Guys, thank you very much. I'm going to stop this now. So thanks very much, and all the best for your exams coming up.